Hey there, I'm Han.
And I'm Kat, and we're Brews and Reviews.
Tonight we are going to be watching our second film of October, which is The Girl with All the Gifts. It's an improvement. I'm joking.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
I'm joking.
How rude!
I'm joking. No, I am, I promise.
I eat you.
Now you've read this, haven't you?
Yeah, literally a couple of days ago I read it. Well, I listened to it on an audiobook, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I kind of want to watch this like right now because I'm interested, and I want to see what they do with some of the things that happen in it, which I've not told Hannah about what they are.
Like, I don't really know much about this film. Like, I know it's about like zombies and it's more like fungally and stuff like that, but that's it. Like, I don't really know anything what happens. So,
and I've kept it that way because I was like I want to see what they do with it and how you react to it, because I think it is interesting, and like I think there's some, well, I'll tell you afterwards what I'm talking about because I just don't want to ruin it. So we're kind of going into this not really expecting too much, but I'm kind of excited, and I'm excited to see whether we can recognize the place that appears in this film that was actually filmed near where we live. Like, apparently it's really obvious if you're from around here, and you can, like, you're like, that's the bus station.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
be keeping my ears.
You
eyes.
keep those ears pricked.
I was gonna say ears peeled. My eyes peeled.
Gonna get the potato peeler, shall I? Anyway, we're gonna get started and watch this because it's pretty late and I've got work tomorrow. Because, just to let you guys know, we have got brews. We just, you know, they're hot and we didn't want to hold them because I've got one hand on this awkward camera and it hurts.
We got hot chocolates tonight.
Yay! Also, Daryl Dixon is gonna save me from like the zombies because, sorry, the hungries. It's gonna save me from the hungries.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so we've just finished watching Girl with All the Gifts, and yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
You know, it was an adaptation of the book. There were things that they changed about it that I wasn't particularly a fan of. Just realised I'm still wearing my glasses.
So what did they change then?
So there's a whole lot more to do with Dr. Caldwell. She's definitely much more of a psychopath and definitely like chases Melanie around for quite a while, going like, let me dissect you, give me just a bit of your spit and shit like that. Like, she like chases her around the hospital at one point, and it's a bit weird. And like there's a whole end climax sequence, which, spoilers guys, basically involves her decapitating one of the other children. Yeah, and there's just a whole climax sequence, and I feel like the ending makes more sense in the book, because instead of being like a giant pillar that she sets on fire,
because that's like there was no explanation as to why she did it.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, well, why? Because I didn't get it. But after you've explained what happens in the book,
yeah,
I can see why she would do it.
Yeah, we see in the book as well, it's not a giant pillar, it is a huge wall of it that is like a spongy substance that like almost like cotton wool, like that's how it's described, and like she can walk through it and all that, and there's hidden pods inside, so she actually gets Parks to help her set it on fire as if they're going to go through it.
Right.
And then he realizes afterwards, he's like, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
But he's already been bitten at this point in time, because he actually gets bitten after him and Justin who bang in the book. Like, that doesn't happen in the film. I'm kind of glad it didn't happen in the film, because I thought it was a bit unnecessary in the book. Also, did you get the fact that she murdered a child before the breakdown? Oh, wow, let's teach me to not look at the camera. Sorry, guys, it's in the top of our heads.
What? Who?
Justin who?
Which one's Justinu?
The teacher.
The names are dead confused. Why the fuck can't
Justinu
they have
and
names that you can
Caldwell.
pronounce? I just don't get why they don't have names you can pronounce. Why can't they have a first name like Jessica?
Her first name's Helen.
Well, Why didn't they call her fucking Helen?
Because she was called Miss Justinu. So that's the teacher's names. It's
right,
like...
So who?
So,
who what?
What's her face? Gemma Arterton's character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, before the breakdown of society, she hit and run and killed a child. Like...
Is that what she was on about when she was sat drinking with the other officer? Yeah, I gathered that.
Like... And then she feels really guilty about it, and that's part of the reason why she has such an attachment to not letting Melanie get killed.
Yeah.
I don't think their relationship was gone into as much as it is in the book, because like you see her doubt everything, and I mean that's quite interesting. Like she's like, why am I feeling this for a hungry child? Like that is wrong, and I find that interesting. There's also a lot more in the book about how when they escape they barely have any E-blocker left, and it becomes harder and harder for Melanie to actually bear them.
Yeah.
Because she can smell them a lot more, and she needs to get out of there, and she has a lot... Her restraint seems to be a lot better in the book, because she has to exercise it a little bit more. One thing I found really interesting was that in the book, Melanie is a small white girl with blonde hair. Justinu is a black woman. And they switched that around in this. And also, I didn't know what ethnicity Gallagher was, but Kieran.
Right.
I didn't know what ethnicity is, but I kind of liked the way that they did it. I like the casting choices for this.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. The characters obviously weren't as well explored in this, but I felt like the way that Kieran died was a lot better in the film, because in the book he's actually running away, because you know that whole Junker storyline I was on about, which is completely ignored from the film for time purposes, I imagine, but he's actually scared of the Junkers and runs away,
right,
and that's why he ends up in the thing in the first place,
right.
So
like I didn't find it scary though, or like creepy. I liked, like what I said to you, like how the people, it was like The Walking Dead, like the zombies were like The Walking Dead, they were real people, like they weren't
it was like
CGI.
prosthetics.
Yeah, and I found it was so realistic, like they looked great, like they looked creepy and everything, and the way they'd just stand there.
Oh yeah, when they're just standing there, that is terrifyingly like, oh okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's a threat, and, like, I like that, and it kind of reminded me of The Last of Us. If any of you have played that game, I know you have no idea what I'm talking about here, but...
I've heard of it, but...
Like, that is also a fungal infection.
Right.
Sort of plague, and I find that really interesting. That whole scene where they are walking through, like, the shopping mall and to the hospital, I found that really interesting, and that was the sort of tenseness I would have liked.
Yeah.
And I would have liked... quite a bit more of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of like
talking in enclosed spaces.
Yeah.
There is a lot in the book, but there's a lot more tenseness as well, so it kind of evens it out a little better. Which is why I was thinking that you wouldn't enjoy the book, because there's like, I think you'd just get bored by the fact that they're just talking to each other for long periods of time.
Yeah, I reckon I would. I did enjoy the film. Like, it was alright. It was alright.
Yeah, it's alright.
It wasn't too bad.
I feel like I wouldn't be rushing to watch it again though, like I do with
no.
some zombie films. So.
But if somebody was like, "Oh, have you got any zombie films to recommend?" I'd recommend it. I liked like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
I had a very visual picture painted in my head by the book of how all these things were going to look, and it was very different to how it was portrayed in the film, and like I would have done things differently had I been making that film in my imaginary land of me making films, but yeah, it was still, you know, still pretty well done. We recognised the place.
We did.
Like, that is...
Like, there was a bit and I was like, is that it? I was like, no, I don't think it is, because you started to rewind. I was like, no, actually, I don't think it is. And then there came a bit on the screen and both of us were like, that's it. That is
the bus station, mate.
So
that's
we knew
the
it.
bus station.
We recognised it straight away as soon as we saw it, so...
They like stop trying to pretend that that's like a little or some shit like that. We were like, nah, the bus station. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think there could have been things better explained. How did you feel about the ending?
I just felt like if you didn't know like about the book and about the film, it's very unexplanatory. Do you know what I mean? Like the start of it, I was like, well, why are these children hearing? I like how it does explain it later on, but you're still like, it's like it's just chucked you in the middle of it. And for me, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, like, I just needed, like, a little bit more, I don't know, I just felt like, and, like, the end of it, it was very,
yeah,
how's she going to survive, and, you know.
I mean, that's exactly how the book ends, though, with her, like, left to teach them from the, you know, the confines of,
and, like, once you
Rosalind
explain
Franklin.
why Melanie did, you know, set fire to the pods and everything, I can understand why she did it, and, like, why the teacher would help, because she, obviously...
Well, she's got nothing else now.
Well, yeah. But, like, I just felt like it was missing something. I can't explain it, but I didn't feel like... I don't know, there was just something that didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I think the gaps in that are filled in much better in the book.
Yeah.
So it's why I feel like I'm not really disappointed by the film, because...
I'm not disappointed. I didn't have anything to compare it against, did I? But still, like...
I don't feel like it has let me down, because I could fill in the gaps, because I've already got that, what should be happening, I guess.
Yeah.
The end, like, when I finished the book, I was all a bit like... Oh. And, like, it's really bleak. I find it really, like, a bleak outcome to the apocalypse. Because, I mean, there's some part of everybody, surely, in some sort of zombie apocalypse that holds out that little bit of hope that we aren't going to die. That humanity is going to survive. And in this, it's like, nah, mate, I've just killed everyone. Like, but it's going to be very sad, but, you know, it doesn't matter, because the new species will get a chance to live. Yeah. I don't know. There were scenes directly out of the book, though, which I enjoyed. Like, that whole, like, bit where Melanie's almost going to get cut up by her, and the one comes in and kills the other nurse.
Like, that was my favourite bit in the whole film.
Yeah. I think that was, like, the tensest bit.
Yeah.
And, like, it just sort of trailed off, because I think there's a lot more hungry threat in the book, which I just think it needed to be a bit more present, because after, like... that beginning bit, for the last half hour, the only threat were the other hungry children that were like Melanie, and they weren't threatening in this.
No, I don't think they were.
Like, in the book, they're coming at you, and they're intelligent, and they're gonna get you. And in this, they're just sort of like Lord of the Flies children. Like, they've been left alone for a weekend, and they've snuck into Mum's paint box, and now they're like, whoa, blah, blah, blah. I've got a baseball bat. Except without words. Yeah. So, overall, it's an alright film. It's not bad. If you're looking for, like, a really scary zombie film, this isn't it. This is more you sort of analyse moral decisions of humanity and what is right. But also with a bit of zombie and sad... bleak humanity. It's very late, guys. We're very tired, so we should probably go then. Yeah, so we sort of enjoyed it. It was alright. It wasn't as good as the book, but I mean, movies never are they? So yeah, we hope you like this video and our total rambly mess and giant face things, giant faces. See you in the next video.
See you later.
Bye.